Hi everyone, it's Fiona here from fionamarks.com and I am back with my weekly video newsletter, and today is the 29th of January. So let's have a look at the 5 things that I want to share with you this week. I was reflecting on yoga asanas and stances after our video last week, so I want to talk about that first and then check in regarding the new series that I have on the YouTube channel about feeling the agony in your chart. And then I want to let you know what's going on with my Fireside Myth-Busting chats with Fernando Raul Castro. And I have the first primer in my Planets and Parenting series. And then I also wanted to share with you that I have some videos about the apprenticeship up on the YouTube channel too. Okay, so last week you remember that I included a video about asanas because from one of my coaching sessions, I had pre-recorded for someone some stretches for the lower legs. And I was talking about in that video that I'd chosen to call it asanas because it means to remind us that yoga is all about our stance. It's not really, in a way, it's not really about stretches or poses. It's about preparing the body and mind to be in balance with whatever is happening in life. It's like practice situations that the body mind can train in order to approach life open-heartedly and with balance. And I was reminded of that this week because of this equanimity. This, I think, that's been a virtue that this week I'm calling on, or have been during this period, because my father continues to be in intensive care, nearly 4 weeks, which means we catch up. All my brothers and I catch up every day, which is wonderful to hear what's going on with him. And it's very much a mixed report. You know, some days it really seems like things are going well, and then other days it seems like there's just no way to recover from this setback that's happened. And then a few days later, it seems to be going very well again. And it reminds one regarding the stances, it reminds one that we practice all those heart openers in yoga so that when times like this come and we want to contract around the heart and we want to just curl up, we've got that practice of standing in the body and the mind as different forces move and change around us, maintaining that posture, that asana of being open-hearted. So I very much appreciated all my yoga this week. And it also reminded me of this story that you may have also heard. Let me see if I can share with you. I went and had a look at where this story comes from. So according to Wikipedia, it's called The Old Man Who Lost His Horse. And it's this quite simple proverb about in this Wikipedia approach about good luck and bad luck. And this is the traditional version you can see here on Wikipedia. But perhaps you've heard more the Western cut down version, which is maybe simpler for me to share with you on video today. Once upon a time, there was an old farmer who had worked his crop for many years. One day, his horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbors came to visit. Such bad luck, they all said sympathetically. Maybe, said the farmer. The next morning, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 other wild horses. How wonderful, the neighbors exclaimed. Maybe, says the old man. And then the following day, his son tried to ride one of the untamed horses, was thrown off the horse and broke his leg. And the neighbors again came to offer their sympathy on his misfortune. And the farmer continued to say, maybe. And the day after, the military officials came to the village to draft young men into the army. Seeing that the son's leg was broken, they passed him by. The neighbors congratulated the farmer on how well things had turned out. And maybe, says the farmer. So it's a very sweet story that reminds us that we really don't know what's good for us and what's not good for us. and what's good for the future and what's not good for the future. It reminds us of our perspective. And then there's quite a longer article here, but I'll put all of these links into the video because this shares the story as well with some lovely examples, but it has this very nice diagram here that the neighbors are going up and down their emotional journey with what they think is the good luck and the bad luck, which is easy to think we know what should happen and that we'll be happy when that happens. And that the story is kind of reminding us to stay balanced as news changes, which it will all the time. So that has been my reminder this week that asanas are very important. So let's all keep practicing our postures so that as life moves and changes, we are supported in our own bodies and minds. Which is perhaps leads me nicely into feeling the agony in your chart. This is one of my current video series on YouTube. And there's a couple of new videos up from last week. Here we go. So last week we had part 1, which was my introduction overview. Now you can also check in with the quotes from the Eastern perspective and the Western perspective. I think there's some really good contrast there, and outline in the third video where to look for agony in your chart. And then we also explore K2 as one of those potentials. I encourage you to go have a look at those videos if you are interested in finding this equanimity, because astrology can help us look for those areas where we're most likely to want to contract away from. And the yoga asanas that we practice help us to stay open to reality as it is. Astrology is a great way to go. Just have a look at the reality of what's in the chart. So I hope you enjoy that series. There's plenty more videos still to add to that. And that series goes really well actually with the Fireside Chat that I'm doing with my colleague, Fernando Raul Castro. He is a fellow apprentice graduate, and he shares a very rich background in traditional astrologies. So we have been recording some videos. At the moment, you can see the stories of our own personal pathways into astrology. And then the second video talks about how Vedic astrology fits in with modern Western astrology and other traditional astrologies like Hellenistic astrology. So trying to give us that broad context. And the third video that's up discusses whether Vedic astrology is actually traditional astrology. So potentially controversial topic. And then I'm planning at the moment that a new video would come out every Wednesday. And there's a couple loaded up there if you want to read the descriptions and press the remind me button. We're going to talk about the fire and the pedestal, which is about what we do with these inherited old traditions when the world has moved and changed so much that we can't live as people lived then. But how do we generate that fire or keep that spark alive and grow it in the modern age? And then another video, we explore being versus becoming that. And this is where it links back perhaps to the Agony series, is astrology can really help us be with the reality of the experience of our life, not what Instagram or Facebook photos would show that our life is, or chasing after some fantasy life that's always full of only one flavor, like excitement or partying and good times. Hopefully there's plenty of that in your chart and in my chart, but there's also times that are less pleasant, and that's equally a part of our experience. We don't have to run away from that. So there's kind of a link between the being and becoming video that I talk with Fernando and the Agony series that if you're wanting to really get in touch with the authenticity of your unique experience, the sweet stuff and the sparkling stuff, and also the rough stuff and the dry stuff and the dark stuff, and that astrology can really hold your hand through that process. And then I'll be looking forward over the coming weeks to talking with Fernando more about the cross-pollination and the differences between Vedic astrology and traditional astrology. So where those traditional things have survived and where they haven't survived, and what we can learn from looking at Vedic astrology in the context of other traditional astrology. So plenty of good things to look forward to there. And now I'm also, as I told you last week, so excited to be finally talking about astrology and parenting. So in February next week, I'm going to meet up with a parenting coach every week to go through one little slice of an astrology perspective into parenting and see how that has synergies with modern thinking about parenting. And the first topic that is already up, just posted on the website or on YouTube, is about parenting styles and what astrology can share with us about parenting styles, and what style you have as a parent based on perhaps on your astrology, what style your partner has, what style your parents had, and how those mix together, and whether we can move along the continuum of those parenting styles. So that's the first topic. And I also outline on there the future topics that I'm hoping for, which is next topic, children bring joy. So I'm going to examine whether that truism is true. And then we're going to look at tantrums, temper tantrums, and behavioral patterns, and how astrology can maybe show you what's in the mix of your kids' charts, not actually looking at your kids' charts, but just knowing the energetic patterns that can create those pitfalls. And we'll see. I mean, I have a fourth topic there, but it might evolve. We'll see. At the moment, the fourth topic is our relationship, that each child in the chart, so every person, has a unique relationship indicator for their relationship with the mother and a different indicator for their relationship with their father. All the children in your family then have those indicators for each of you guys. And how does that play out in the mix of the family? So those are the topics that we're looking to explore. And the final Friday Five for this week is that, as you know, I've been talking about the apprenticeship is online. I'm a mentor for the program now, so I really want to just get it out there that it's available, it's self-paced. If you're in lockdown like we are in Portugal, perhaps it's a time when you're thinking about studying, doing something while learning, stimulating yourself, having something to look forward to during these times when we're at home a little bit. So I have put up there an overview of all the content that's on the program and the number of hours, and also the bonus material. So you get a much more clear idea of what you're getting for your investment. And then at the moment, there is also my overview of the Rashis and Signs course, where I go through what the course covers. And also I share with you, my notes and what I really learned from that course, so that you can see the benefits. So that is my Friday Five for this week. Let's take you back to the beginning so you can see all the things that we covered. I hope you're having a great week. I look forward to seeing you on the YouTube channel and seeing you again on the newsletter next week, or even for some coaching or some astrology during the week. Okay, talk to you all again next week. Bye.